Hello and welcome to the Ball Outdoors YouTube channel. I'd like to introduce these. The two sleds that are going to be featured here a little bit on this channel. Like I said before, this channel has been mostly about razors and off-roading, a little bit Power Stroke diesels and Kawasaki motorcycles back in the day. However, this has kind of been my passion here lately is snowmobiling. So this will be coming up on the third season of riding sleds. I went, both feet forward, jumped right into, snowmobiling. I've ridden snowmobiles a couple times before in the past, and bought a 2022 RMK Matrix Slash. Rode it a few times, ended up selling it for way more than I paid for it, and went ahead and started getting into the vintage sleds here. So in the background there is a 1996 Polaris Ultra RMK. This is my second one. This first one I had purchased was in very good condition. However, it never quite ran right. And just tuning and trying different things. It did have the SLP low RPM triple pipes, and I just could never get it to quite run right. And so I was like, whatever. I threw it up on Facebook Marketplace, and lo and behold, I sold it to Chris Brandt. So that's a professional Polaris snowmobiler here in Colorado. So ended up delivering that to him, and then I ended up getting this one. So this is my second Polaris Ultra. This one's bone stock except for a Todd Klein trash can. Runs fantastic. Awesome machine. Added the more modern CNA Pro Razor skis, and then the trash can, and pretty much that's it for mods and things like that. And I was always kind of contemplating getting another machine, and that's where this one comes along. So this is a 1992 Polaris Indy 650, and this is affectionately referred to as the pumpkin because it's black and orange. It's gotten that nickname over the years. This one has been modified a little bit. It has an extended track. It's supposedly a 136-inch track on there. It looks to be maybe an RMK skid on there. It isn't quite exactly the same as my Ultra over here. So this is an actual factory RMK. This one is kind of a made-up version, I guess you could say. But anyway, this one's kind of a home-built thing, aftermarket decal versus the original. So this one, it was sold as being, it just needs the carbs clean and things like that. However, it needs quite a bit more work than was originally advertised, but you know what, that's just the way it goes when it comes to vintage sleds. There's a bit of electrical work, fuel pump, which was diagnosed by Todd Klein. If you guys are anything know about greasy triples, you know Todd Klein. So he actually took a look at this as when Taylor was bringing it back from Wisconsin. So he took a look at that, diagnosed a bad fuel pump. So we're gonna throw a new fuel pump on there, clean out the tank, all new fuel lines, clean the carbs, rejet it for this altitude. Our riding altitude is basically 9,000 to 12,000 feet. So quite a bit different than the Flatlanders. But there she be. So other than the electrical and kind of like the fuel system, it seems to be in great mechanical shape. The compression tests out fantastic. Todd Klein compression tested it to 120 psi, so turned out to be fantastic there. Other than that, it's cosmetic. We'll throw a seat cover on there with the tank cover. I'm gonna go ahead and repaint the hood. Looks like it had been repainted before. I'm not sure if that will show up on the GoPro there, but there's sand scratches there, so it's been repainted before. I don't know what's going on there in a circular motion from something. That decal there is added, it's aftermarket. So this has definitely been repainted before with factory decals, which is pretty cool. However, I picked up a set of decals from the sled shop and go ahead and repaint that. Throw some more modern skis. I'm a big fan of the CNA Pros, which I had on there, but I went with Sly Dogs on this one, so I'm going to throw some Sly Dogs on there, and they're going to be orange to kind of match the scheme. And I'm not sure if I'm gonna throw that decal back onto the seat there or just leave it black. That way the back end would be completely blacked out. It's got the pink idler wheels there. Got some black ones here. And then a missing bogey there. So I'll throw a bogey on there. But like I said, it's mostly cosmetic. You know, we'll give it a little bit of like a Krylon rebuild, so to speak, on the tunnel there. Krylon rebuild on the trailing arms and the radius rods and everything like that. Everything seems to be tight. The steering's actually pretty tight on that one. Engine's good. Repaint the exhaust, things like that. Let's go ahead and pop the hood. So there's the 650 triple pipes. Fairly certain these are also SLPs with individual stingers. But yeah, everything's just a crapshoot in here. I mean, the fuel pump isn't even mounted. The factory location of the fuel pump is actually down there on the backside of that bracket. However, most people either move it up to here on the water pump, or here's the air box. So this is kind of like the left side, the right side. They'll mount it up here actually, the fuel pump. I kind of like that idea. It'd be a pain in the ass though if you got to remove the air box to make jetting adjustments and stuff like that. But I think that's something I'll deal with. And then there's kind of the crapshoot on the wiring that's going on. Kind of like they added hot seat warmers for some reason. The factory wiring is right here for the hand warmers. This is being a 92, it did not have an original thumb warmer. So I already ordered an adapter harness to go ahead and throw that on there. So I'll have to clean up all this wiring, clean up the fuel system. Shouldn't be too big of a deal. It's interesting to see, you know, a 1992 version versus a 1996. The refinements and things that they made in just a couple short years there. Neat machines. I love the vintage snowmobiles. I enjoyed having the 2022 Polaris, but the vintage machines, it's just the noise and just everything that's going on around you is just so much fun, and I love it. And so welcome to the fleet there, Pumpkin. The Pumpkin and the Ultra. Good machine. So I wanted to kind of introduce these machines before I kind of started blowing them up here. Especially this one, you know, tearing it apart. You know, it's going to be a shell of a machine here in a day or two. Now with this one, it actually doesn't need a whole hell of a lot. The only thing it actually really needs, and is not going to show up at all on the GoPro, however, that motor mount down there, that motor plate is broken. It's very common on Ultras for that motor plate to be broken down there. So either I'll find a used one off eBay or something like that, or just go ahead and weld it up. It's aluminum. That's not a big deal. However, if I'm going to go ahead and pull the motor to do that, I might go ahead and do a top end kit on this. So I already got a race driven pistons and rings and a gasket kit. So I'll go ahead and do a top end, even though the compression tests out perfectly fine. Now, this is a fantastic running machine. Super happy with this machine. So, all original. Good machine. So, like I said, I wanted to introduce these onto the channel before I started kind of tearing them into and taking them apart. But again, 1992 Polaris Indy 650, 1996 Ultra RMK. Alright, so this has been Josh from Bold Outdoors. Thank you for coming along. I'll see you again next time. Peace.